Is it working? Okay, should be working. Well, let's see, move this here. Where can I? Do you even read? Like, also, how have you, like, this is the 10th episode of this. It's been this, it's worked the same way since episode 1. Anyway, somebody already managed to read the instructions, let's take a look at their timings. 7500F on a B650 Aorus Elite. Got lucky with FCLK. I mean, your SoC is like 1.21, so that's not too surprising to me. 6600 too unstable. Yeah, that's pretty common. 6400 requires raising all primary timings. Is this mainly an SoC voltage increase? Because if you're at like 1.2, like raising the primary timings, you shouldn't have to raise them by more than 2 ticks. So 64, like 1 tick of extra primary timing is like 6400 is going to be faster. So, like, I can understand if it's like, oh, your SoC requires like 1.3 volts at 6400, but like if it's like the memory itself is just like that doesn't really matter. Anyway, then we've got 30, 37, 37, 31, 30, so A-Die. 6, 8, 32. Why are you setting your TRRDS to 6 if your TFAW's at 32? Like, that's just not going to do anything. WTR is 6, 16, 48, 459, 44, 16, and 6. 65,000 refresh interval. So yeah, like the only thing I don't understand is why you lowered the TRRDS when your TFAW's at 32. Because all this is going to do is if it tries to do 4 activates on different banks, different bank groups, it'll just inject like a 4-cycle delay before the next activate. So like, I guess there technically is like a very mild scheduling benefit to TRDS being slightly, but this is DDR5. This isn't going to do anything. So like, this doesn't actually matter, but like, I don't know why you'd even bother. Oh, and we've already got a super chat. So I guess we'll take a look at that next. So what's this? We've got a 7950X3D at 6200 with 1.165. So this could almost certainly run 6400, considering your SoC voltage for 6200. 3 hours of test BEM 5, 3 hours of Y cruncher. That's all cool. TRP 35 to 30 because you told me to. TRS to 30, Ryzen IMC limit. I mean, I don't think that actually matters. I think the TRS timing is one of those timings where the memory controller just does, like, it's a weird timing. Alright, what else? I just noticed. Turns out TRFC 2 and same bank are in fact used. Are they? Because on Intel with A-Die, this doesn't work. Like, this just doesn't work on Intel. And Intel definitely uses fine granularity refresh, and you can't mix well, I mean, I guess you could mix fine granularity and regular style refreshes, but these are both impossibly low for A-Die. So I don't think they're actually, like, they're not, I don't think they're being used, and I think your system going dark during Y-Cruncher might be something else. If by dark you mean like it reset itself, or you mean like just shut down? I mean, if it reset itself and shut down, that's probably kind of the same thing. That usually indicates a core crash. Or an Infinity Fabric crash, considering you're at 2200. Also, that is a very low VDDP. No, that's probably fine. This is a ASRock board. Oh, you're the one with the, like, ridiculously low VDDQ and VDDIO. That is funky to look at. And this is single rank. TRFC 500 to 363, 362 produced errors. Man, you are really, like, riding the limit on that. Like 362 produces errors and you set it to 363. You have a lot of faith in your memory sticks. Yeah, no, I'd leave the TRFC 2 and same bank on auto. Like, I'm gonna, like, I might look into this again, but I really don't think AMD changed that, because if, like, especially if what you're saying here, where it's like this, if these were actually in use, this would crash on A-Die. And TREFI back down to 50,000 for temperature stability. Yeah, it seems like, I mean, sure, it's not really going to cost you that much performance. So, yeah, that's that. So, I guess while we're still at the, like, start of the stream, I'm going to grab, early ones. Apparently we have some generic B-die. It shouldn't take very long, because it's generic. Yep, very generic. 14, 8, 16, 14, 24, 38, 4, 4, 16, 4, 8, 10, 285, 2, 2, 14. Yep. That is, in fact, Samsung B-die. On a MSI motherboard, 40 ohm proc ODT. 733 is a bit weird. Normally it's like 731, but I guess that might just be the board. Oh wait, you're on like 4 sticks. Okay, that might explain why this is 3 instead, because usually on like dual rank sticks it's 731 for best stability. And then 1900 across the board. So, yeah, on dual rank timing set as well. Yep, very generic B-die right there. So I'll just grab another one. $8,000 on a Apex Encore, 3646. Oh, this is 8i. Okay. Yeah, 36, 46, 46, 46, 58, 12, 8, 480. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for refresh interval. 51 TWR. 16, 8, 20, 20. 16, 8, 64, and 52 on TWR DDG. That's odd. I think like the auto timings on the Apex go lower than that. Though I might be misremembering. Right, is this like two separate screenshots or what's going on? No comments on this one. No, it's the same timings twice. And I'm not seeing memory temperatures. Oh, but I guess IMC VDD at 1.36, VCCS at 1.25. VDD QTX at 1.3. That's lower than I was expecting for 8,000, but yeah, I can't get 8,000 to work on Intel systems, so like I'm not going to comment on your voltage choices because nothing works for me. Anyway, let's grab another one. And it's a 7800X3D on an X670E-E with a locked PMIC. I could run 6400. Yeah, the locked PMIC is not your problem. If you want to run 6400, the PMIC is not the issue. Because the only thing like VDDQ, you don't need high VD. Well, I mean, it is an ASUS board, but 1.3 volts is plenty for 6400 on VDDQ. And then VDD literally just affects your primary timings. It doesn't actually tie into the frequency very much. Like you can run DDR5 8000 on like 1.4 volts of VDD. 6400 on 1.4 volts is absolutely not an issue. Like that's, by that I mean like 1.4, like less than 1.43. I'm not rounding that down. I mean literally 1.4. So all you'd really have to do is instead of CL28, you'd have to run CL30. And like TRCD would probably be like 37 or 38, depending on how lucky you got with your sticks. But considering you're at 1.2 for 60, like almost 1.2 SoC at 6200, there's like a slight chance that with even 1.3 SoC, this isn't going to run 6400. So, yeah. But like the running 6400 is not about your memory's PMIC. It's basically about SoC voltage. That's really all there is to it. And then we got 3100, 2066 Infinity Fabric, 3100, 28, 36, 36, 32, 30, 62, 48, 16, 414, 48, 384, 41, 26, 12, 16, 4. So yeah, this is like a N65,000. So this for 6200, this is basically as low as it's going to get in terms of timings. So like that is a weirdly high VDDP though for 6200. I mean, it's not like dangerous. But I would expect that you could get away with significantly less VDDP than that. Not that it's going to really like change power consumption or anything, but yeah. So that's that. Some generic A-Die up next. Oh, it's another 6200 setup. Well, that's not too surprising. I can't make 6400 work with any combination of voltages and timings. Yeah, because it's probably just your CPU. Like 99% of the time, 6400, like if it doesn't work, it's the CPU's fault. In one-to-one mode. Oh, and you are on dual rank, so that might make it a bit harder. You need 1.05 on the VDDGs to get the Phi RDLs to match. That is super weird, because in my experience, VDDGs that high would like sometimes reset the CPU at random. Yeah, that is really odd. Anyway, let's go through this. So 30, 37, 37, 32, 30, 62, 88, 32, 416, 48. 432, this is A-Die. This is, like, it's weird to me that, like, your TRFC is, like, it's, personally, I would probably run something like this, but I'm a bit surprised that it's kind of loose, considering what you've done with, like, your other timings. 5.2... on the SCLs. I mean, it's not a big deal, but a bit odd. Or TP12, TRDWR14, WRD4, and then this is dual rank and you didn't... Oh, I guess 7788 is a bit tighter than the auto settings. I think usually, like, minimum is usually 6688, but I guess, well, maybe your sticks just suck at read-to-read operations. Assuming that that 5 is necessary for stability. Or your memory controller's on edge because your SoC voltage is really low. Like, if you can't run 6400 at any voltage, this might be kind of too low for 6200, like, just borderline. But, yeah, not 100% certain about that. Then we've got 1.4 volts across the memory and the, well, VDD, VDDQ, VDDIO, which is... it's not really that weird for ASRock boards. Procode ETF 53.3 is new. I don't think I've ever... Have I ever seen that? Nah, that is definitely weird. And your terminations are also weird. I mean, at low speeds like this, these kind of don't matter, because there's like a bunch of, like, like, the lower the memory speed you're at, the less sensitive it is to signaling issues. So if you, like, that's why, like, DDR3 doesn't take forever to train, because it's so slow that you don't need to be super precise with anything. Well, I mean, you still need to be more precise than, like, DDR2 or DDR1, but compared to, like, DDR4 or 5. But yeah, those terminations are weird. I mean, almost, like, evidently they work, but they are very weird. Yeah, I'm like, I'm trying to think of, like, a reason why having, like, an insanely high termination for write operations would work. Because, like, this should cause reflection issues. Almost, like, guaranteed to cause reflection issues. And again, I guess if the board has the DFE turned on, it might just be dealing with it that way. Yeah, so your resistances are like bizarre to me. I have no idea. Like, is this like auto settings from ASRock? Because I don't think I've ever seen a board do that on auto. Yeah. So this is just weird as far as I'm concerned. But if it works, then like it works. So I'm not gonna do anything about it. But it just does look extremely weird to me. Though I haven't tried an ASRock board. Wait, what BIOS are you on? 3.0. Yeah, I don't think I've tried a single 3 point whatever BIOS. So I don't know. Maybe Oh, and you are on 64 gigs. I mean, that still doesn't explain the write terminations. Does it? I'd have to actually no. That might explain it. Oh, that might explain what's going on with the terminations because this is dual rank. So yeah, that'll behave like that does behave pretty differently. I'm still weird though. Um, I guess the higher proc ODT is because like the other memory stick is loading the signal down maybe. Because like that's the funny like the funny side effect of like dual rank with DDR is that when you have multiple memory ranks, the other rank like sucks down like when one stick is right like when you do a read operation, one rank like outputs data. The signal of that data being output is partially absorbed by the other memory ranks, which is why as you keep adding memory ranks, memory speed gets worse and worse and worse. So I guess that might be why the proc ODT is higher, because that would like reduce the amount of power like across the board. Um, I really really wish that like someday I get to just like like not have an oscilloscope that can measure this because that's unrealistic. But like I don't know, get flown out to like Micron R&D or something, and then just have a board hooked up with a memory stick hooked up directly to an oscilloscope, and like you can't really do the CPU, I don't think, because the funny thing is like if you measure before the CPU socket, it might look worse than what the CPU actually sees. Because yeah, like high speed signaling is like you could have something that looks like a complete disaster halfway between the CPU and the memory stick, and then at both ends it actually looks fine. Um, but yeah, like there is equipment that can like measure the signal right at the memory chip. Um, and I'd love to get access to that someday, and then just like sit there and play with terminations to show what kind of like terminations and voltages to show what kind of effects they have on the actual signal. Um, anyway, next submission. So 7950X3D, massive SOC voltage. That's not too surprising because you're at 6400. And then we got 32, so single rank. Some 7800 rated DIMMs doing 28, 37, 37 at 1.43. That is really good. Like, if this is stable, that is really good. 37, 37, 36, 81? Okay. 8, 32. Your TRP could probably get tighter. 816 on the WTRs. This is looser than what I even usually use. Don't think it's a big deal, but like it is looser. Anyway, 400, oh, TWR48, of course, 400 TRFC, 65,000 refresh interval. SCL's at 6.6, so I think this memory controller is on edge. Also, at 6400, oh, I guess, does it like fall over at 2133? Because that is a thing, like, because there is like a slight performance benefit to running 2133 at 6400 if your CPU is like right on the edge of not being able to run 6400s. Like the 3-to-2 ratio might actually tip it over the edge, which also looks like what's going on with your SCLs over there. And we got 26, 12, 16, 8. Cool. And then 40, 30, 30. Yep. Okay. Isn't that BIOS pretty old? Oh no, this is a B650 board, so that's probably not that old. Anyway, next submission. Got a... Is this? No, Ryzen again. Let's see. 7800X3D, 6200 at 1.14. So see, this right here, this could almost certainly do 6400. So, I mean, it's not going to be, like, massively faster, but, you know, if you want to mess with it, like, if you can do 6200 at 1.15, I would guess that you can do 6400 at, like, 1.25. Because it's usually, like, that last 100 mega transfer, I mean, last 200 mega transfers, I should have just said 100 megahertz, because it is actually, like, 100 megahertz, right, because DDR. But yeah, that last extra 100 megahertz does tend to take about 100 extra millivolts. So I would imagine this would probably work at like 6400, maybe slightly. I mean, 6400 would work at like 1.25, maybe a little bit less, if you can do 6200 at 1.15. But anyway, obviously your idle power consumption is going to get, you know, worse. So if you care about that, maybe don't. But that. So 30, 37, 37, 32, 28, 36, 4, 8, 20, 4, 14, 48, 390, 4, 4, 12, 16, 2, and then it's single rank, so the dual ranks don't matter, and 65,535 refresh interval. Yeah, so this is just like a nice, tight 6200 setup. And you're running... Oh, actually, you are running like pretty reasonable voltages across the board. Interesting to see an Asus board that isn't at like insanity VDD/IO. Then again, I guess it is a Gene and you're just at 6200, so it probably doesn't... It's not as sensitive to the IO voltage. Because, like, my experience with Asus boards is, like, they just need stupid amounts of VDD/IO for anything to work. But I don't have a Gene, so maybe the Gene is different. So, now we've got 4 hours of so test mem5 for 4 hours, and then OCCT and LinPack. Yep, all looks good. So let's keep going. I thought TRFC should be multiples of 16. Why should it be a multiple of 16? Where does that, like, come from? Like, I don't know, maybe well, no, I am not seeing how it would have to be multiples of 16. Like, none of the documentation I've ever read mentions any kind of, like, oh, refresh, like, internally the memory stick only does refreshes every 8, like, counts a refresh, like, in increments of 8 or whatever. Anyway, so got a PyPrime run. Oh, I guess this is just a max performance run or something? What is this? Oh, 12, wait. Is it? No, 14th gen. This is not a stress test, by the way, but, whoa, 43, wait, is your BCLK, like, underreporting or what? And we have the inferior of hardware info. Oh, there was comments that I missed. Test mem5 pass, mem test tested quickly 150%, 16x2 without errors, and I have been using it about a month for... Oh, wait, you mean like you had it set to 14/2? Okay. I've been using it for about a month now. Is there anything you would change? VDDQ 1.35, SA 1.32. No, I'd just be happy with this. Like 4300 for an Intel system. I was like, I literally don't have any Intel CPUs that'll even boot that. Actually, maybe my 12600K would boot that, but it wouldn't be stable. And I should say KF. I keep forgetting that it doesn't have an iGPU because that's how much I care about iGPUs. Anyway, 16, 17, 16, 25, 2, 280, 4, 4, 6, 2, 8, 16, 14, 7, 4, 7, 7, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 26, 22. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And then 7, 7. Yeah. Yeah, this looks good. I wouldn't change anything about this. Especially like you don't even need like insane SA for this to work, so that's just cool. Intel TRFC can be affected by single digits. 227 no post 228 works just fine. Yeah, like I'm not sure how a like I would assume the refresh cycle has to be. Actually, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure the way refresh cycle works is that it's just like how long the memory controller waits after sending a refresh command before sending something else. Which basically means like the memory controller can just like crash the memory stick if it tries to read too quickly or like tries to do something too quickly after sending a refresh command. Really? Red text on a blue background? I mean, the only way this could have been worse is if it was red text on a green background. God, that is hard to look at. Micron A-Die. These are the motherboard preset timings that I found. Was wondering if they are any good. It said preset from Micron 5600. Oh yeah, 5600 on Micron 8-die. You need to get lucky with it. In my experience, it maxes at like 5400 usually. 5200, 34, 40, 40, 40, 55, 70, 416, 418, 48, 700, 58. Oh right, yeah, it's Micron, so you can't do like impossibly low right to rights. RTP8, 16.6, single rank, and I would bump your refresh interval if you want any amount of performance out of this. Also, that FCLK is just bad. Yeah. That FCLK. Also, I just had a hair in my mouth, but that FCLK is just like that's just bad. This is just like mega bad. You're at such a low. That SoC voltage for 5200 is actually insane. Yeah, for 5200, that is an insane amount of SoC voltage. So basically, I would raise TREFI to like 40. Like, I'm not sure if Micron has like a low refresh interval limit. I kind of doubt it, but you know, you can just step the. Like, ideally, you want to get it up to like 65,000, but just bumping it to like I think 40,000 is almost guaranteed to work, is my guess. And then you can probably lower the SoC to like 1.1. And you can probably run like 2200 FCLK with this. There is absolutely no reason to run 1733. This is so bad. I mean, 2200 might not work, but that doesn't change the fact that you shouldn't be at 1733. You should be like you should be over 2000 FCLK for this. Yeah, like definitely over 2000 FCLK for this. Anyway, next submission. Ooh, a 9950X. But not at 8000, so I don't have to feel bad about myself. Raising MVDD didn't help much with timings, and I didn't want to use high voltage mode. Yeah, well, when you're at like 7600, the voltage steps get really big for slight timing reductions. Board can boot into Windows at 8200 with the 9950X. Can get it stable at 8000, but no matter what I tried. Thing is, I think you need like I don't bin CPUs, but I would guess that for easy 8000, you probably need chips that boot like 8400 or higher. Because like you can kind of like I feel like DDR5 memory controllers can be tricked into booting like extremely high settings if they just don't actually have to do anything. But anyway, so we've got 7600, 36. This is on 24. Yeah, on the 24 gig Hynix DIMMs, like they need a ton of voltage to bring the timings down, even a little bit. And actually, the only one that really comes down is TCL. So I can totally understand why you wouldn't keep raising the voltage. Anyway, so 36, 46, 46, 44, 44, 88, 8, 12, 32. At 7600, I think TRD L10 might work. Not that it's going to make a big difference, but something. 616, 628, 88, 34, 12, 20. It is single rank, 65,000 refresh interval. Hour of Y Cruncher. Got all the random benchmarks. And you're at 1.1 SoC and 2200 FCLK. Personally, I mean, like, I don't know if you've checked this, but if your CPU can do 64, well, it depends how much you care about the idle SoC power draw, but I would probably go toward, like, I'd try to run 6400. Because 7600, in my experience, like, trades blows with, like, 6200 in terms of performance. So if you can run 6400 1-to-1, that's just better, right? Also, I am surprised that you can get an X670E Asus board to boot 8200 at all. Actually, I'm kind of surprised that you have 7600 working. Oh, then I guess even the ProArt was kind of functional at 7600, even with my 9950X. So I guess maybe with 9000 series, like the high speed something changed with the memory controller configuration to make like high speed work a bit better than it used to. But the funny thing is, like, I'm right now, that's why I like randomly glance over to the side during this video. Like normally I'd look over here because that's where like the OBS is, but I'm looking like way over there because I'm running 8000, like I'm stress testing DDR5 8000 on my 7950X right now. So yeah, which is kind of funny because that 7950X on the ProArt doesn't work at 7600, whereas the 9950X, I mean, I didn't stress test it very much, but it works. It seemingly works more so than the 7950X did. But the 9950X, like at 8000, is just completely broken. So, yeah. RDL is mismatched, but looks stable until now. 1-volt SoC is no go. That's probably related to your Infinity Fabric, which if you're at 7600, I would not sync the Infinity Fabric to 1900. I would, yeah, I think running 2200 FCLK is probably better. VDDP set to 1. All resistances are on auto. Well, yeah. That doesn't really surprise me. CPU can't do, oh, it can't do 6400. Yeah, then, yeah, that makes sense. Because also with MDI, like MDI doesn't tighten as much as ADI does. So like ADI at when I was testing 6200 versus 7600, I did it with ADI, and with ADI the timings are potentially somewhat better at 6200 compared to 70. Well, actually they're not. Like, they're not relatively better, but with MDI you really do want as much clock speed as possible. So yeah, makes sense. Anyway, next submission. Oh, there's a super... Wait. It's going to be tighter, but I'm not sure where to start. RAM temp... What? Oh. Oh, no. What did I click on? Okay, there it is. Hyx A-Die. Wait, what? This can be tighter, but not sure where to start. This is like 925. So 1.25. Oh, you're on a 7700. Okay. V650M HDV. Oh, so I guess ASRock just likes high proc ODT apparently. Interesting. 34, 38, 38, 38, 60, 80, 4, 8, 20, 6, 16. Yeah, no, this is weird. Like, this looks like you watched the Easy Hynix timings video and then just, like, decided not to copy certain parts of it. Because, like, 500, 400, 300, I can guess where that came from. But then it's like 38, 60, 80? What? 4820, okay, I know where that came from, 616, but then like 78 instead of 48, and then your SCLs are at 9 and 25, and it's just like, why? And then TRDWR at 20, like, the 8, what? And you're at 1.36, and you're at 34 on TCL? This is a 5636 kit. Oh, I guess that kind of explains the primaries, but at this voltage, you know what? I'm not gonna like talk through this. I'm just gonna write it. Where's paint? Oh, damn it! I should just pin paint somewhere. Pin to start. There we go. $32. I'm not gonna... Well, there's like a slight chance that TRCD less than 38 won't work, but worth trying, like, 36. Like, that's definitely worth trying, in my opinion, for all of these. Actually, you only have TRCD, so I'd just ignore that one. There's like a decent chance that'll work. Why is it... The thing is, there are some kits that don't do low TRAS. So, and also TRAS like doesn't matter that much. Anyway, this right here, that can be 4. I mean, we can leave that at 16. I don't see any reason to mess with that one. What? Oh, I pressed what? Why does pressing escape do whatever that was? That is so stupid. Anyway, now this should be 48. This should be 4. This could be 4, or it could be 1. Actually, yeah, just set it to 4. It doesn't really matter. And then this 16, and this 4. Or 2. Like, well, it could even be 2, but doesn't really matter that much. This is A-Die, and if, yeah, so if this is A-Die, you can also drop TRFC to like 400. That should work. I mean, the main thing I'm wondering about is if like MEMVDD 1.36 is going to be enough for that TRCD, but it might be. Depends on the sticks. Like, it might be like TRCD 37 instead of 36. No, anyway, so that's kind of it for my suggestions for that setup. Well, 2 to 1 speed would be better than 6400, like 7800 or 8000 basically. No, half MCLK is not a... Oh, you mean like... No, the UCLK drops to half rate. And it doesn't... I don't think it really helps with quad rank. Alright, I think there was another super chat that I missed. Thanks, YouTube chat system, for being terrible. Okay, it was just one. So I'll do that one now. Or more, actually, it's not really the YouTube chat's fault. It's my fault for not coming up with a better system for this. But like, what do you expect from me? I hate video content production in all its forms. Okay, so we got a 9950X on an X670E Tai Chi, and it's running 6430, 3838, 3850, 88, 812. Oh, the 24 gigabit. Pretty sure at 6400 you can run 88. 724. 48, 544. Okay, that makes sense. 65,000. RTP12, SCL at 5. I mean, you are at 6400. So that doesn't, yeah, I'm not really gonna. Why didn't you tighten right to right? I mean, I do joke about it not being used, but like, there's no harm in lowering it. VDDGs is 0.9, Karhu 55k. I don't know what 55k of Karhu is. Oh, that's like, okay, yeah, that's plenty. Testament 5. I don't like cycles. Give minutes or hours and 2.5 hours of VT3. So yeah, that's cool. So stability wise, I think this is fine. Lowering TRDL to 8 is probably not going to make... Yeah, it's not really going to change the performance that much. But the WTRS and WTRL, like, these could easily be 4 and 16, or even 4 and 14, I think. At 6400. So that's basically the only thing I would change about this. So, yeah. Oh, and there's another super chat. Let's do this one. What? We have a 5700G at, and an 8700G. Okay, so 5700G at 4933. 1.35. I am not sure, but like the thing is like I know that like it's like FCLK scales with SoC voltage on these. So I know exactly why that is what it is. It's because of the FCLK at 2467. 4400 CL19 kit. These settings work on all of my 5000 Gs. I'm wondering if anything could be done to get 5001 to 1. I would guess for 5000 the limit is just your infinity fabric, isn't it? In which case you'd probably need like even more SoC voltage, I'd guess. But that might even like the funny thing is that might actually destabilize the memory controller at some point if you just keep raising SoC voltage. I think my 5500G needs like 1.4 SoC to do 2400 FCLK. So this isn't even really that bad in terms of the SoC voltage requirements. And we've got 17, 17, 17, 34, 44, 10, 10, 12, 48. This is some DDR... This is actually worse than DDR5 in terms of TRDs. I would really, like, if I was doing this setup, I would really look into lowering the frequency a bit until the TRDs do something sensible, like 4616. Or like 4816, or like, because having TRD-S at 10 is not good. Like, really not good. That's like well into the territory of like it kind of depends on what exactly you run, but for certain workloads that is really bad. And I can't imagine that, like, that's probably, like, that's probably acting as, like, some kind of stability crutch for this setup. Which is not a good thing. Because this is bad for performance, like, really bad for performance. So, impressive frequency, impressive FCLK, but that TRDS right there is a massive disappointment. TRDS LTFAW, all auto? Oh, I guess that would make sense. But then, like, well, then tighten them. I mean, why would just like I've like for DDR4 I made like I think I literally made an entire video dedicated to TRDS and TRDL. So like, what is this? So yeah. Also, oh right, that's because it's single rank. Yeah, so I would basically mainly look into tightening the TRRDs on this, and then we have an 8700G at 8000 on a B650M HDV. With that board, you should be able to push it significantly past 8000. This has really frustrated me. XMP works great, but I can't get FCLK to lock at 2000. I have not really I've not really messed with my 8600G very much, so I unfortunately don't know what to do about this. Yeah, but in terms of timings, 40, 48, 48, 48, 126, 176, 816. This is just auto. And unfortunately, I mean, for 8000, I do have ideas, but for like this should be like 8, 12. Yeah, this is 48 gigs, so 8, 12, 32, 624, TWR 48, TRFC, I mean, it's 24 gigabit, so like 700 or something. I mean, 650 for TRFC. Or actually, if you're trying to push it higher, you'd probably want to set, like, I'd probably set TRFC to like 700 and work from there. SCL's 8.8 instead of 1434, just 8.8. RTP 16, TRDWR 24, and WRD 6. And then refresh interval to 65,000. In terms of like tuning up the frequency, though, I don't know. I've not run my 8600G on the HDV at all. No, why is there a redacted message? Why would you do that? Especially when you spent money. Can I unredact that? No, that's on you. Oh well. I kind of gave up on 8700G with no FCLK control. What? What do you mean no FCLK control? I mean, again, like, I haven't tried the APUs, so I don't know if there's, like, some weirdness with the FCLK. It was a misclick. Well, that's unfortunate. Is increasing SOC the only way to stabilize higher frequencies? In one-to-one mode? Yes. For Threadripper, 6400 CL32 or 5600 CL42? Obviously 6400 CL32. Like, it'll just be faster. Especially if you're not tuning the timings, it'll just be faster. I mean, I guess there's a chance that the 6432 wouldn't work, but I've heard the Threadripper memory controller is actually better than, like, everything except the APUs. I'm pretty, Timber's RC Adventures, I'm pretty sure your link is set to private, because I can't open it. It just doesn't go anywhere. Also, you don't have to, like, send another super chat to try send in a new one if you're trying to fix it. Like, chat is moving reasonably slow right now, so... Nope, still doesn't work. $8700G is monolithic. Like, did you give up on fixing the link, or like... Or actually, maybe you just sent the wrong link. Yeah, because it still doesn't open. I don't get how, like, people manage to, like... Because, like, usually for everybody else it's fine, and then somebody, like... And it happens a few times a stream, is, like, some people manage to, like, send links in that don't work. And I don't get it. Like, I'm assuming it's, like, a public-private setting somewhere that they're, like, not making the links public, because then they don't work. Because, like, everybody else is... Well, yeah, I think this is the first one that doesn't work today. So, congratulations on that. Timber's RC Adventures. Have you given up? Just, like, maybe just send another link at this point. While I'm still, like, looking at chat. What's the average 1-to-1 FCLK on the Zen 4? I don't know. I don't test enough CPUs to know. Probably somewhere between 2,000 and 2,200. It's not a very useful answer, but it's accurate. Wait, did chat just freeze for me? Oh, YouTube. Why are you like this? What? Oh, come on! Oh, great. Well, now it's broken. Now it's really broken. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Screw it, the tab died. I love YouTube. So, I can't see chat right now. Give me a minute. Actually, don't give me a minute. Give me a few seconds. There we go. Now we're back. Oh, yeah, there was another super chat, and... yeah, so it just decided to up and die. Anyway, so we'll do that super chat that was being problematic. That's like one of the issues is if I'm pretty sure if I interact too much with the live stream tab, it just crashes at some point. Okay, so we have a Maximus 11 Apex now. That is a rare board. And we have not enough pixels. But anyway, 14, 14, 14, 30... 17 for TWR is pretty high for Intel. Then again, it's like hard to say. Or like it's high for B-Die. But yeah, no, that's just high. Like you can definitely run it at like 11 or 12. 228, 44, 62, 8, 16, 14. Your IOLs are out of whack. Like your RTLs and IOLs are just completely out of whack. So that's slowing this down a bit. Oh, it is dual rank. So that's probably making it somewhat difficult. 65,000. 6, 4, 7, 7, 11, 11, 11, 26, 22, 5, 5. Okay. Yeah, this is really tight. So the main thing I would look into is trying to do something about the RTLs and IOLs. Because this definitely is slowing this down. Now, what exactly you have to do about them, I don't know. RTLs on Intel don't make any sense to... actually, RTLs anywhere don't really make any sense to me. But I'm pretty sure there are ways of I think you just bring down the IOLs and then bring down the RTLs, and either it works or it doesn't. So, like, you decrease IOL by 1, and then you decrease the RTL by 1 as well. And you do that for both of them at the same time, and that should work, I think. Anyway, I'll grab the next super chat. Like, good settings. I mean, for dual rank on 9th gen, this looks about right, because 9th gen's dual rank support is kind of not great for, like, dual rank DIMMs. Like, 9th gen, funnily enough, actually works generally if you... I mean, obviously this is an Apex, so it doesn't have 4 memory slots, but for most of the Z390 boards, they're T-topology. So they usually work better with 4x8 than they do with literally anything else. As a side effect of that, the actual BIOS support for 16 gig DIMMs is kind of horrible. So like 2x16 often clocks worse on 9th gen than 4x8 does. Even though like the total number of ranks is the same. Anyway, let's take a look at this submission, and we've got a 7950X3D. 6200, 28, 36, 36, 36, 30, 66, 4, 8, 20, 4, 16, 48, 4, 7, 7, 4, 2, 26, 12, 16. This is dual rank. You need to do something about your dual rank timings. 8, 8, 15, like that's not okay. Like this, like 8, 8, 8, 8 would be like kind of acceptable. Ideally, it should be 6, 6, 8, 8 on this. You're at 1.17. Wait, there was like a question about, what was it? 6400 CL30. I mean, I don't know. Does your CPU run 6400? It probably does consider, well, I mean, no, that is a reasonable SoC voltage, so it might work at 6400. So worth trying, I guess, but like, I don't know. If this is a daily setup, I don't know that I'd bother. Yeah. Like, I would just tighten up the the different dim, same dim timings, and then just like not do. Also, your FCLK is wrong. For 6200, you want to run 2066 or 2200. You do not want to be running 2100. This is basically like, I guess it would be worse if you ran like 2033 instead, but like 2100 at 6200 is like really suboptimal. Like you want to run 2066, 2166, or 2200. 2100 is really not great, and 2133 is also not great for 6200. So yeah, that's what I would change about this. So yeah, anyway, I think there was another one. Oh, there was another one, but there's no actual link in it. Okay, so cool. So now we're gonna go back to, so I think that's all the super chats, right? Yeah, that's all the super chats. So I'll just grab links from after the most recent one. Why doesn't this work? Okay, I'll just grab the next one. And that one does work. So we've got a 5800X3D with B die and auto timings. Okay, well, this is B die, isn't it? Wait, is it B die? What? Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, it's B die. And then you look at the, like, these timings are, really? You buy RAM like this, and then you run timings like this? Was there some, like, explanation for, like, we got the feel-good curve optimizer, but didn't actually bother to tune the memory at all? So, oh no, my font's too big. Wait. Can I stretch this? Oh yeah, I can. Nope. Oh, whatever. What? How is it at 18? I think like 10N3 is reasonable. Like most motherboards don't set these this bad. So like I don't usually have to tune them. I mean, I'm not actually 100% certain that the extra memory voltage would be necessary, but like I like to, you know, like hedge my bets, I guess. So yeah, do this. Oh yeah, you're the one who like sent the completely empty super chat. Well, 1T? No, we're not doing one. Like I'm not this freaking like we're not dealing with gear down mode on that. Not fixing it. Oh no. Are you Oh, I copied it with the slash. Okay, that's why. Anyway, we've got a 5800X3D running generic B-die settings. They're backwards. Your TRDS and TRDL are backwards. Your TFAW is like wrong. I mean, yeah, it would be stable because you're just like this is just slower. But anyway, 14.8, 14, 13, 21, 37. 5, 4. Yeah, this should be like 4. Well, okay, so, well, no, it should be like 4, 5, 16. Because effectively what you've done here is 5, 5, 20. I know it says 4, but because this is a 20, this is functionally a 5. And then we've got 4, 8, 10, 250, 2, 2, 14, 6, 8. The rest of this looks fine. But yeah, your TRDs are like switched around. Oh, you have an MSI motherboard. Yeah, MSI switches around the order of TRDS and TRDL. So I've done the same thing. Though your TFAW actually just doesn't make sense to me. So actually, this probably isn't the same thing. You probably just didn't read the late. Well, no, because there's no like there is absolutely no point setting any of your TRDs below TFAW. Okay, that's not true, but like there's minimal benefit to it. So no, like this should be 4.4.16 or 4.5.16, not 5.4.20. Like what is this? But other than that, good timings. Can't do 4 TRDs. TRDS X4. No, it's like like the TFAW literal like basically if your TRDs are less than TFAW, it just waits for extra cycles based on how much longer TFAW is. Like what the TRDs control, where's paint? Is okay, so we've got paint back up. And how do I delete all of this? There. So you have like act. So you'll have like TRD. Wait, no, that's a bad way of doing it. Act. TRD. Act. Actually, the dashes are really unnecessary in this. One, two, So, okay, so we'll start with this, because basically what happens is, wait, did I botch that? Yes, I did. Oops. Oh, well, too late. The name is, like, not helpful for this. It makes me confused. 4 activates. Yeah, because it's called, like, 4 active window, when really it should be 5th activate delay, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, damn it. Anyway, so basically, what TFAW does is it limits the... We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. It limits when this can like, it limits how quickly this one can happen. So, basically, if your TRD is, say, 4 cycles long, and you have a TFAW of, so you'll have like 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, and your TFAW is, say, well, if it's 16, then this just happens after this, like, 16 cycles. If your TFAW is, say, 32, and your TRD is 4, then at the end here, it's going to do plus 16. And this, like, activate is going to be, like, way over there. So basically, if your TRDs are less than TFAW, TFAW just delays that 5th activate for however much difference there is between 4 TRDs and TFAW. So that's why, like, if your TFAW is like 50 and you set your TRDs to 4, it doesn't do anything. Right? So in a way, raising TFAW is, like, kind of silly, because you could just run 16 TFAW, and if the TRDs are shorter than TFAW, I mean, if the TRDs are longer than TFAW, TFAW doesn't apply, right? Like, if TFAW was 12, well, this is more than 12, so it doesn't matter, right? Or if all of this, like, was 6, and this was 16, TFAW doesn't matter, because 6 plus 6 plus 6 is more than 16. Like, 4 6s are more than a 16, right? So, yeah, like this, the TRDL here just, like, doesn't do anything the way it's set. What happens sooner? No, if you want peak performance is 4416. And then, like, if you're fixing stability, then, like, you could actually leave TFAW at 16 and punch in TRDs instead. Like, TFAW is this, like, really weird thing of, like, hypothetically, DDR has a problem if you send too many activates too quickly. And then in practice, it's like, I've never really seen it to be actually much of a problem. What, TRAS? On Ryzen, on AM4, you can just set it to 21 and then just play with TRC and TRP instead. You can literally, like, on AM4, you can actually just ignore TRAS completely. 4 doesn't hold. Well, then run 5s on both. Like, it's just, like, either, like, if it's not stable, then run 5s, and it's going to be slightly slower. I'm, like, not, like... Yeah, but, like, I'm just saying that, like, 5420 just doesn't make any sense. Like, from a stability perspective, this is functionally the same as, like, from a performance perspective, this is functionally the same as 5520, or 5516, or 5512, or 551, because TFAW doesn't matter if your TRDs are the same or higher than TFAW. And if your TFAW is huge compared to your TRDs, I don't know why you tuned your TRDs. TRAS on DDR5? Oh, TRAS on DDR5 is just weird. And so I don't really have an, like, advice on it. You, like, a lot of the time it yeah, it's just weird. So I don't have like solid advice for TRAS on DDR5, unfortunately. Yeah, and as for like if this doesn't work, I mean you could try more memory voltage, but like you're already at 1.58. I think if you keep raising that memory voltage, this might actually get less stable at this point. So yeah, if this isn't working, like I don't really like if it doesn't work at 4416, I don't really know why. But usually like the L at the end of TRRDL is that usually TRRDL is longer than TRRDS. So like I don't know, 416 might work, and that would actually be faster. Not by much, but it should be faster. Wait, do you actually need 1.58 for your primaries? Because like 3733 isn't that tight. Then again, oh, it is a 3200 kit. So I guess that makes sense. I mean, 5 isn't that much slower than 4 anyway. I'd just leave it like 520 or what it is right now. Yeah, because like yeah, yeah, I'm not aware of like a way to fix this. Anyway, did I miss any super chats during that? No, there's just one more. So we'll take a look at that. What is this? GDM on can fix Phi RDL mismatch and IDA 64 shows lower latency. Yeah, that makes sense. Mismatched round trips don't tend to be bad for memory latency. Oh, 7900X on an X670E gene. Okay, well that makes sense that that does 8000. A 0.95 SoC. Neat. Yeah, I was experimenting with that on the 7950X on the ITX Strix, but it randomly broke and it doesn't want to work anymore. That's like one thing I've noticed is like the Strix seems to have a thing where if like it like gets stuck on some unstable memory training parameters, and then it's just perma stuck on them after a while. So I had to like clear CMOS and start over, and then it was like, oh, it like works again. So that's annoying because like you might be like testing a bunch of stuff and then it just like and like some of those things might actually be legit unstable and some of it might be like, oh, it's because the previous unstable setup broke memory training and now it's just going to permanently be unstable until you reset the BIOS, which is just amazing. I love memory training. Just actually the best thing ever. I wonder if you could get like if it would be possible for like somebody to add like a memory training flush to the motherboard as like an option you tick that like flushes like completely like does the equivalent of a BIOS reset every time you apply new memory timings. Because it's like weird how like after like at some point I literally like because I was like testing like I had something that was pretty stable and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna make it faster, and then it got really unstable. And then even when I went back to the originally kind of stable settings, they were completely broken until I reset the BIOS, which is just like, man, why is it like this? Oh wait, this is a 9700X. I misread that. So yeah, like mismatched round trip latencies like causes causes like high latency. I don't actually know the mechanism behind why. I guess it might be just like requests to one of the like the not like yeah, I don't know why. And on like Intel DDR5, if you've ever checked the round trip latencies, like each of the channels has its own RTL. On like at higher speeds, like the RTLs are just like every channel is its own thing. So yeah. Actually, it's kind of interesting how AMD seemingly has only like one RTL for like each channel, because like it's technically not like one stick isn't actually one channel, it's like two, but yeah, well, like this behavior makes sense. As for your timings, 38, 48, 48, 46, 40, 86, 812, 32, 416, 700, 88, 36, 12, 16. Yeah, this makes sense for 24 gig at 8,000. Also, 0.9 now. The one issue with these like mega low SoC voltages is you can't run high. Like if you wanted to run 2200 FCLK, you can't. It will not work. Like it will not post. Interesting that you have it working. Oh, I guess. Well, I guess that makes sense because the VDDIO voltage is used for driving the commands. And gear down mode like simplifies the command like it gear down mode is like a stability tweak for the command address bus. So it would make sense that with it on, you could get away with like a different VDDIO, potentially a lower one. Anyway, so let's grab another submission. And of course, the first thing I tried to grab doesn't work. Is the LDO VDDP kind of low? Nah, that actually makes sense. Like for me with the Asus boards, 1.05 has been working best. And if I raise it, it gets worse. If I lower it, it gets worse. Wait a minute. Oh no, please don't chat. Oh no, the chat froze again. YouTube, why? Also, the YouTube live stream like interface like does like has some kind of like reload work like block, because I press F5 and it just doesn't do anything, which is just amazing. Like that's exactly what I want from a website, is for it to block reloads. Anyway, so let's take a look at this setup, and then there's more. Wait, no, we did that one. There is more super chats. Oh wait, should I try to lower VDD or push for lower CL36? I would just not do anything. Like if I have DDR5 8000 working, I would just be happy and not touch it. Because it could it could go, like it could very quickly turn into it doesn't want to work anymore, even at the settings that previously worked. Anyway, so here we have a Z117-P. Oh, you're on like early Micron. Wait, is it early Micron? Oh yeah, it's 4 gigabit. Oh, you're so screwed. It's early Micron. It's the worst kind of Micron. Got 2933, 14, 16, 16. This is even like worse than my experience with early Micron. 32, 1, 16, 350. Well, at least it does okay-ish TRFC, I guess. Actually, not even... Yeah, not really, actually, because you're at 2933. I think I should go lower. And we've got 4, 4, 9, 4, 8, 16, 13, and then you could probably raise refresh interval more. Like, yeah, I don't think that should be an issue. This is dual rank, isn't it? Yeah, because these are 8 gig DIMMs with 4 gigabit memory chips. So 6, 4, 6, 7, 9, 9, 9, 10, 28, 23. Yeah, this is probably about as good as it gets, considering the memory sticks you have. It's early Micron, so like, yep. And it's also dual rank on Z170, which is just like... Also, I'm pretty sure the Z170-P is a T topology board. This is like the worst possible mix of everything. It's like early Micron DDR4, which sucks, on a early DDR4 motherboard, which aren't great, and it's dual rank DIMMs on a T topology, which is just the worst. Like, it literally doesn't get worse than this. So, yeah, I am not surprised that this is stuck at 2933. Will it work better? I'm not even sure that having 4 sticks of this memory chip would do anything. Like, early Micron, like, a lot of it, like, doesn't do 3000. Like, doing 3000 on it at all is, like, an achievement. So, yeah, this, like, I don't think having 4 sticks instead of 2 with this stuff would actually help. Because I think this stuff might actually just suck. But yeah, with 4 sticks, like Z170-P, it might work better with 4 sticks. Like 4x4, like Samsung A-Die would probably... That would be my guess for optimal, would be Samsung A-Die in a 4x4 setup for this motherboard. But I'm not 100% certain. Anyway, let's take a look at the super chat next. And we've got semi-micron 1 billion stable Micron 8 A-Die. Oh, and it's unhappy in actual stress tests. Okay, yeah, that's been my experience with A-Die is that like you can run it really tight for like benchmarks, and then like for stress tests it gets a lot worse. 5900X, 3800, 12. Oh man. Yeah, 3800, 12, 17, 15, 21, 56. 4, 4, 16, 4, 8, 10, 5, 6, 1. Oh, it's single rank though. It's a shame. I bet dual rank with this, like, I mean, maybe you'd have a issue finding 2 sets of sticks that do this, but I don't imagine dual rank would be too much harder, like too hard to run with this. And we've got VDIM at 1.8 and VTT-DDR at 0.9. Oh, I guess finding a second set, like another set of sticks that use the 4018 bin is a problem for this. Because I wonder, like, I really wonder how, like this could probably work in dual rank just as easily as it does in single rank. And for Y-Cruncher especially, that would go quite a bit faster. Oh, and then we have also B-Die at 1.74. That's not that much of a... Oh, no, it's like almost a full second. That is quite a gap. Because this is what, 14, 8, 15, 11, 21, 31. Yeah, the TRC just like, that is like my biggest, yeah, that's my biggest complaint for Micron is like TRC. Also the TRFC, especially on Ryzen because you can't change the refresh interval. The TRFC is kind of a problem. But yeah, like this is doing 4416, whereas this is doing 4616. But because like low TRC, low TRFC, it still wins. 4810 to also single rank. So at least it's like not like dual rank beating single rank, which would be a given. Though I think with the Micron sticks, you can probably push the WTRs lower. Like, you might be able to run 2.6 instead of 4.8. And even the B-die should be able to do like 3.7 if you're just going for benchmarks. But yeah, it is cool to see Micron actually like pushed really hard like this, because it usually doesn't. Nobody usually bothers with it, right? Like, it's always just like, oh, you want high scores, you just use B-die. Actually, considering this is you're on a B550 Extreme, I would really try 2-to-1 mode with this. Yeah, because on the B550 Extreme with Micron in 2-to-1 mode, the later AGSAs, if I remember correctly, really ruined 2-to-1 mode above like 4600 for me. But maybe, like, that was on, I checked that on Gigabyte, so maybe on ASRock it's better. Like, I would really try to run this at like 4800. Not with this voltage. For 4800, I don't think you can run 1.8 volts. You'll probably have to run less VDIM. But yeah, I would really try to push for like 4800 CL16 or something, or even 5000 CL16. Like, that might actually work with the B550 Extreme 4. Two one walled at 4800. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, it's power down. It's like a idle state for part of the memory stick. Wait. Oh yeah, yeah. Power down is idle state for the memory sticks. I am not actually sure how much it affects heavy workloads, because it affects idle latency a lot. But idle latency will literally put the CPU to sleep sometimes. Like, if you watch idle latency on a CPU that has like active power management running, you can see how it literally goes to like deep sleep, wakes up, deep sleep, wakes up, deep sleep. And it's just like, man, no, like that benchmark is so, like, it does so little with the memory that I think like it probably is disproportionately affected by power down mode compared to other things. Because, like, power down mode is only supposed to be used when the memory sticks are, like, idle. And, well, IDA's latency test is basically idle for, like, 90% of the runtime, if not more than that. Because I think it's literally, like, sending a read operation every couple milliseconds, which in CPU time is forever. Anyway, I guess we'll grab another submission. Wait, did I copy it with... Yeah, I copied it with the slash. Go, okay. Oh, this one should be... Wait, oh no, it's C-Die. At 3600. Okay, well, that's simple. 18, 20, 20, 20, 48, 68, 44, 16, 48, 14, 594. I feel like I remember C-Die being better than 594 for TRFC. Like, I remember being, like, kind of impressed by C-Die's TRFC. So, wait, or is this Hynix C-Die? Oh, wait, this is 16 gig DIMM. Wait, it says dual rank, though. What? I am confused. What C-Die is this? Oh, you think it's Samsung. Okay, did you try tuning TRFC? Because I feel like that should go lower. Oh, 300 to 310? Oh, so maybe that is as low as it goes. Because it's a 330. What, you tried what, you mean 320 nanoseconds? Oh. Well, this is... I feel like I'm gonna go check my own C-Die video, because I remember the TRFC being one of the things that I was like, whoa, this, like, isn't as horrible as I thought it would be. And 594 is pretty horrible, if you ask me. Yeah, I was running it at 466 at 3600. I guess maybe there's like a bad Samsung C-Die and a good Samsung C-Die. Because I have a video showing it working at like 466. Which is like that is so much lower that it's like... Like, there's like, that's like a different memory chip almost. Like, usually that would be like a different memory chip. I have like OEM Samsung C-Die sticks. Like, you can... But I'm like 99% certain, like, I haven't run them in ages, but like, I mean, I guess I could like pull them back up again. And like, I am like at 3600 they ran 1822. And like, yeah, they did like low TR. I remember like being, I think also TRC. No, the TRC looks correct. I think I was at like 66 on that. But the TRFC, I was like under 500, which was like, whoa, C-Die is like not completely trash because it like does less TRFC than like most other chips, other than like Hynix. Like Hynix is the only other chip that, or obviously Samsung B-Die. What? No, installing the memory sticks to get in the same channel wouldn't affect TRFC. I've never heard of S8C go that low. I'm going to have to check those sticks. Like, I mean, I'm going to have to check them, I guess. But I am 99% certain that they are C-Die, and they do under 500 TRFC at 3600. Then again, like, Samsung chip binning is a mess. Because you can get, like, Samsung B-Die that does horrendous TRFC. Like, OEM Samsung B-Die can be, like, basically indistinguishable from C-Die. So, I don't know, maybe, like, Samsung just, like maybe C-Die and B-Die are actually, like, related, and they're just, like, the same thing, but, like, some of it was manufactured wrong. Because, like, like, OEM B-Die is, like, all over the place. And then, like, maybe C-Die is also all over the place. How does my pipeline go from 7.6 to 8.6 out of nowhere? Did you change settings, or did you just run it a bunch of times in a row? Because if literally anything else on the OS is running at the same time as pipeline, it's gonna, like, nuke the performance. It could even be N8C? What? No, those sticks are old. And I'm pretty sure, like, they're bare PCBs. I swear it says 5WC on the memory chips. Anyway, I guess, next submission, because, yeah. So, like, if you can't lower the TRFC, don't lower it. Like, evidently, like, this might just be a case of, like, C-Die being extremely consistent. And a well-manufactured memory chip that definitely doesn't, like, swing wildly from one extreme to the other. Actually, there is one thing that's consistent with C-Die. It doesn't work. Actually, that's not true. I've heard of people successfully running C-Die above 1.4 volts, which I've tried that and it doesn't work. So, evidently C-Die is just a massive mess. Hynix? This looks Hynix, because we got, like, pretty low TRFC, miserable primaries, decent TRC. Oh, no, you didn't do your TR... What? This is CJR dual rank. I mean, I don't think I tried CJR. I did DJR. I did CJR with a 3700X. Yeah, you should be able to run your TRDs at 4, 6, 16. Which, I don't know how you ended up at 8, 11, 16. That is a real mystery to me. That just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, no, TRCD isn't gonna go anywhere. I am confused as to what is going on with your TRDs. Like... Well, like, I would think this should do is 4, 6, 16. Also, this should be like 4, and I'm pretty sure this can do 8. And let me check. Oh wait, no, the WTRLs are wrong. It doesn't do them that low. Or maybe I just didn't bother to test them enough. So this should be like not 8, but like 12. You should just make it opaque. There. I don't know why I don't do that. Oh, and the SCLs, 4 and 4. The TRFC is fine. Actually, wait, this is dual rank, so I would also try to do 4, 6. And that should work. I don't think I actually... The thing is... Wait, I have a... Yeah, the thing is I never tested dual rank CJR. I did do dual rank DJR, but that's not... I mean, it's similar, but it's not the same, so... Yeah. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on that one. What? RD is stuck? What do you mean RD? Which RD? WTRL 10, WR 10. Yeah, that sounds about right. And I think I lost track of where I am, so I'm just going to grab a random one. And by random one, I mean Micron 16 gigabit. Wait, this is... Oh no, it is DDR4. Okay, good. Because that would make it that like I was like, man, if it was DDR5, it would be terrible. But DDR4 Micron is actually good. Well, late production DDR4 Micron. 5100 on a oh yeah, it's a 1 DIMM per channel. Yeah, the Unify X. 5100, 18, 8, 24, 21, 21, 64, 4, 4, 16, 4, 8, 16, and then the one weakness of 16 gigabit memory chips is, and especially of Micron 16 gigabit, is the TRFC. Which on AMD really hurts. If you were like on Intel, it hurts a lot less because on Intel you can just crank refresh interval to fix it. Unfortunately, Intel's memory controller doesn't. Well, I guess on 11th gen, but like, why would you want to have an 11th gen, right? Like, do you want a slow CPU? And also on 11th gen for 32 gigs, you would just run B-Die. Actually, even on Ryzen, you would just run B-Die generally, but like, it's a 5800X3D. It doesn't really matter that much. That's like one of the that with DDR4 is like kind of I mean, one of the upsides to this kind of Micron setup is like this is probably easier to prove stability than like really tight B-Die setups. Because if you really try to push TRCD as low as it goes on B-Die, it has a tendency of erroring out after multiple hours of stress testing. That is a lot of EDIM, which is kind of cool to see it working. And then again, it's not that high, so that kind of makes sense. Yeah, so this is a cool setup. It's not really practical, but it's cool. It's just, like that's the one thing yeah, like that's just like the sad thing with RAM is that like because RAM is a mass-produced is mass-produced, and so unless you have a memory chip that is like really RNG, there's not a lot of variety to it, in my opinion, right? If your priority is just optimal performance, it's just like buy B-Die, which admittedly B-Die is pretty RNG, so it's like you have to buy like 3214, 3614, 4016, 4419, right? Like there's like all these different speed bins that like you buy if you want B-Die, but then the actual settings you run are basically always the same, which makes it really kind of boring. Whereas with DDR3, there was a bit more variety. Because I guess on DDR3, you still had like similar situation with like PSC and LPTA hypers, but those are all like 1 gigabit memory chips, so you actually wouldn't build a daily system around them because you'd only have like 8 gigs of RAM at best. Unless you were on X79. So yeah, but DDR5, it's just like buy Hynix, any Hynix. And with that, it's like, oh, you can buy 6030, you can buy 6432, you can buy 6834, 7234, 7238 from Kingston, 7600, 7800, 8000, and then it all runs the same settings anyway. Except for the primaries. The primaries are kind of all over the place, but luckily the primaries don't really affect performance that much. Oh, well, let's do this super chat. Then go back to random submissions. Actually, you know what? If you want a... Well, no, not a bigger chance. But, like, I guess if you include some details with your links as to what it is, I'm more likely to click on it if it's not... I guess if you have Hynix, then I might be less likely to click on it because it's going to be the same thing over and over again for DDR5 at least. What? No, that's 120 CZK, which is like... It would have been like $6, and also the YouTube tab just crashed again. I love you, YouTube. Anyway, yeah, I think that's like $6, or at least when I was still lived in the Czech Republic, that would have been like $5 or $6. Yeah, this is A-Die. It is on auto. Why? Well, I mean, I guess you did super chat, so... Wait, can I not... Can I actually just do that? And then go straight to paint. That's not paint. Where's paint? There's paint. Oh yeah, and then I can just stretch it out. Not like that. Oh, that didn't help. That did. That was not ideal on my part. Well, no, it still helps. Like, it's still bigger at least. So, here we go, I guess. I mean, the 8s is fine. What's not fine is this is A-Die, and you have... What? Why can't I grab this? Paint, why are you like this? Oh, there we go. Like, the funny thing is, GIMP actually isn't better for this, because its text handling is awful. 32, 4. Oh no, it's like covering stuff up. And this is 64 gigs. 32 doesn't really make much of a difference there, but like... $6,400. Oh, this is A-Die, isn't it? So, I don't know, like 450. That's probably higher than it needs to be, but it doesn't really matter. That looks like you did... Yeah, you raised the refresh interval, just not very much. I mean, I would go to 50,000. Is there a way to set the, like, default length of this thing? Because this is really annoying. It just shoots off into space. It should work. I mean, you might have to raise your SoC voltage a bit. Oh wait, this is A-Die, so actually this can go lower. I mean, even on M-Die it can go lower a lot of the time, but not a priority. And, you know, it would probably do 30. And then, like, you can almost, well, this should work at the, yeah, at the stock. Honestly, it could probably go lower than that, but, like, that. Yeah, I would do that. What? Text transparent? Yeah, I know about the transparent thing, but then it's like I can't just overwrite numbers afterwards. Like, I want a default length adjustment. Like, I removed the transparency on purpose. Max safe voltage for 24 gigabit M-Die? Probably like 1. I don't know. Like, personally, I wouldn't worry about it being set to 1.65, but I don't know what the upper boundary for safety is. And so, TRFC at 6,000, around 600? Actually, no, like mid 500s, something like that. Like between 5 and 600. I'd probably just set it to 600. Because you can just max refresh interval. why my 3090 is using 160 watts while streaming in Discord? Video acceleration, probably. Okay, I'll grab another... How long? Oh, we've been 2 hours. We'll go a bit longer today. I mean, I've been yawning throughout the stream, but man, why would you submit with this few pixels? You daily a CRT? What is this? Freaking Intel users and their latency obsession. This is a CRT, isn't it? Anyway, 7800 on a Z790i Lightning. 34, 45, 10, 42, 38, 2T, 10, 4? Is this 24 gigabit? Oh yeah, it's 24 gigabit. 620, 6, yeah, so just straight ones for refresh interval. 11 TWR, RTP at 11, TFAW 16. Neither of those are real, but like his TWR pre is 44, WR PDEN is 44. TCWL 28. I am surprised that you left your TCWL at 28, considering how absolutely slammed everything else here is. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it's like, I'm just kind of surprised that, this looks, like, the rest of this looks like you would set your TCWL to, like, 16 or something, which might actually work on Hynix sticks. It doesn't make a big performance difference, but it does work a lot of the time. They're just having insanely low cast write latency. But anyway, then we've got 14.7, 2020, 12. Actually, I should be saying 14.8, 2020, 12.8, 62.46. That makes sense. And then dual rank isn't relevant, so dual rank is all set to 1. Yeah, looks good. Cool. Though, yeah, I'm not gonna, like, I wouldn't really bother. Like, if this works, then I would just call it a day. Though I do want to point out that, like, you can get errors in stress tests after 9 hours, especially at these kinds of speeds on Intel. That's why I gave up on DDR5 8000. Because every time I was like, oh, this time it's going to pass. And then I went to bed and I woke up and there was an error at 16 hours. And it's like, when did it happen? I don't know. Or I actually have one screenshot which just infuriates me to no end. Because there's like 1,000+% HCI. Like, there was like a test mem 5 that passed, Y-Cruncher passed. There's like 1,100% HCI with one error. And then I ran more HCI, and it's like 2,000% 0 errors. So there's like one error in like, I think 2 days of runtime, which is just like, you can't, like, and that's just, yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I don't, like, the 2-to-1 modes is just like, proving the stability on them is just annoying as hell. I mean, I don't think that, like, I don't know how common that, like, occurrence of, like, oh, it just, because most of the time I haven't run into that. Like, I do only have one screenshot of that exact scenario where it's like, oh, it got one error in, like, 1,000%, and then I was like, oh, let's just run more of that stress test in a different instance, and it just didn't get that error anymore. And then it's like, well, so is it stable or not? Well, no, because there's an error. But would that, like, you know, if I just close the errored out instance, would anybody know? I wouldn't be worried about 1.6 volts on Samsung B-Die. Like, I don't, like, Samsung, I am not aware of anybody ever killing a Samsung B-Die stick with anything other than, like, physical handling. Games do not stress the RAM that much. Yeah, the games that you play right now. But the problem with having a slightly unstable system is that you start a new, like you open a new application and then the application crashes. And is it because the software is bad? Or is it because the stable settings I was running aren't stable in this one application? Right? Like that's the whole reason that I go with like why with stress testing, it's like I err on the side of going kind of overboard, because when you half-ass it, you end up with a system where it's like, oh, it sometimes crashes. I don't know why. It must be the buggy applications. When actually it's your half-assed memory test or CPU test or whatever. Because like there's like the funny thing is like some of these stress tests, like I mean Karhu is really like a synthetic memory stress test, testmem5 also, but like Prime 95 is like an actual legit application whose main purpose is to find prime numbers. And it just so happens that finding prime numbers, when you optimize the software really well for just finding prime numbers, also happens to crash unstable systems a lot. Right? And I think another example is like Stockfish, which is like a chess solver. That really hates your system being unstable. So if you are like a chess enthusiast and use Stockfish a lot, then it's like, oh, which like chess is a game, is it not? And like having a semi-stable, and the other thing is like usually when you push the system to the point of like, oh, it's like barely failing stress tests, it's like, well, you could just back it off like 1% and it'll be fine. And you won't even notice that it's a 1% slower. So like, why are you doing this? Anyway, let's grab another submission. And wait, what time is it? Oh, it's 10 p.m. So I guess at most I can go another hour because I need to go shopping and they close at midnight. So that's the time limit on today's stream. I might get bored of your settings though before that happens. What is this? Intel. Z690, 2 sticks of Team Group T Create, 2x16. 12th gen? Is it 12th gen? Oh yeah, 12700 KF. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I wouldn't really try to like if this was mine, I wouldn't try to. Oh, this is M-Die. Yeah, so I would not actually try to push the frequency any higher. But this could get tighter because like this is 30, 37, 37, 28. That's fine, your primaries. 64333, that's fine. 65,000, cool. TWR, cool. RTP, cool. Actually, your RTP could go lower. So RD... Oh, this is ASUS, yeah. So RTP can go lower. TCKE4, cool. And here, your tertiaries, like, you're at 6,200 and what voltage? 1.36. I mean, you should still be able to tighten these. Like, this should do, like, 12, 8, 18, 18, 10, 8. The 7 isn't real. The 60, like, this could be, like, 50, and this could be, like, 40 instead. And then you don't have to worry about the dual rank timings. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably not going to get much faster. So, like, I don't know. Like, depends on how much you care about, like, pushing it to the limit. But this could definitely... Like, your tertiaries could get tighter. But, yeah, like, it's not... Like, at this point, I don't think this is going to get much faster. Because, like, all of your... Like, there's nothing really truly horrendous here. It's just like, yeah, this isn't super tight on the tertiaries. The primaries and secondaries are actually, like, good. Like, I wouldn't really, yeah, like I don't really see much reason to try push those down further. Let's grab another one. Got a laptop CPU. Wait, there's a 6000 series? And it's... What is this? Is this... What? Is this DDR5? Oh yeah, this is DDR5. Can you even change the timings on this? This is 1.1 volts apparently. And we got 40, 40, 40, 84, 124. 816, 24, 832, 96. TWR can go lower. I mean, it also doesn't affect performance very much, but it, like, definitely could go lower. SCLs, we got 9 and 25. I would imagine you could push these down. And then RTP24, that should go lower, I think. Like, I've never actually tried shooting at 1.1 volts on the memory. So this is, like, weird. But, like, a lot... I think even TRDL, you could probably push it down to, like, 12. Because, like, a lot of the subtimings don't really, like, scale with voltage, but then again, like, 1.1 volts is really low compared to what I usually run. So, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think I've ever run memory voltages lower than 1.35 on VDD. So, like, to me, like, 1.1, I don't, like, it might actually be low enough that it causes issues with subtimings, but I've never done that, so I don't know. Your cast latency, I can basically guarantee you could probably go below 40. Like, you're not going to do, like, 32, but I think, like, 36 will work. Not that it's going to make much of a difference. Can't push it down, not stable TRDL. Oh, so I guess there is a limit to how, like, low the TRDL can go when your voltage is super low. 1 to 2 mode? It's a laptop. Where you get MemTweakit, there should be a link in the description. This time. Like, I am not, like, I'm pretty sure I remembered to put the links in the description this time. Okay, well, I'll grab the next submission. We've got a 5800X with some Micron running 3800. Man, that is really tight TRCD for Micron. Really? Micron? It is Micron. Damn. That is really, really tight TRCD for Micron. I mean, I guess it is crucial memory. So, like, they did something that, like, their sticks actually do decent TRCD. But your TRFC is a catastrophe. This is a disaster. Your RAM spends, like, almost 10% of its runtime doing nothing. Because of that TRFC right there. Like, you need to do something about that. This is not okay. I don't know what you have to do about it, because this is some kind of 16 gigabit. Wait, is it? No, this is 8 gigabit. MAFB. No, so this is 8 gigabit. B-die? F-die? I don't... No, because E-die is M8FE. So this got to be B-die. Yeah, your TRFC does not need to be 1000 on this. So that TRFC, catastrophe. You need to do something about that. Like, it could probably go into, like, I would probably go straight to 600, and I'm guessing it can go below 600. Yeah, I think it can probably go below 600. Then of course your TRDs are like not good because it's like 6, 10, 40. So like I don't know if it'll do 4, 6, 16, but that's like the first thing I would try, like, you know, because the faster you find out what doesn't work, the better, right? Like it's not, in my opinion, it's not much use. Like unless you're having like real massive issues with getting anything stable, it's not much use working with settings that are like, oh, this works. Not useful. You want to find like especially on DDR4 where it's not like a signaling nightmare, um, like DDR5 is. Um, like I would like basically try to punch in like idealized timings, and when those don't work, I would start loosening things out, right? So, and I do them in groups of like TRDs first, so I do like 4, 6, 16. And there's a like on a lot of DDR4 that actually just works. So that's the first thing I would do is like 4, 6, 16. And then WTRs I would try like 4 and 8. Which might not work. And actually, like WTRs, you could also try like 3, 8. Yeah, so after doing like the TFAW time, like for TRDs and TFAW, I would mess around with WTRs. TWR, actually, TWR, I would probably just jump straight to 12 instead of doing WTRs. Because the WTRs, like those can take, like those aren't super consistent, whereas TWR, it like almost always works at 12, so I'd do that. Then SCL's at like 4, 4. And you are on dual rank and you're at 4466, so that's already like good. So yeah, so that's kind of so yeah, like your tertiaries are actually not looking that bad. So I would basically just go TWR straight to 12, RTP to like 12, SCLs to 4, 4, TRDs like 4, 6, 16, and then like once ever like after all of that's done, assuming it works, WTRs, TRAS and TRC. This is Micron, so the TRC probably can't get that low, but it might do like 60s, and TRC is actually pretty important for performance. Um, so yeah, that's how I would go about this. And unfortunately, I've never worked with M8FB, so I don't actually know where it should go, but that's sort of the approach I would take is like prioritize TRDs and TFAW, then SCLs, then TWR, and then like try to do something about TRP, TRAS, TRC. Wouldn't mess with TRCD because that probably isn't going to go anywhere. It's Micron. Like, well, TRP has a chance of getting low. TRC doesn't, unfortunately. What? B-die? No, this is 8 gigabit B-die. I did 16 gigabit B-die, and I did... Wait, is this cut down? Because this is 4400 CL19, isn't it? What is this? Wait, let me look this up, because, like, what is that? BL... 16 G4 C19. Like, that's... Is that... What? Man, why are you so unhelpful, DuckDuckGo? Maybe Bing is going to be better. No, it's not. What? Why? I hate when, like, product pages just disappear. This is 4419, isn't it? Yeah, so it's 4419. But then why does it say 8? Am I not remembering how Micron part numbers work? Anyway, so okay, so this won't go below 600. You might be able to push lower TCL though. And it should definitely do 4616 for TFAW and TRDs. And WTRs you could probably go like 2.7 or something. Yeah, because this I think is This is either 16 gigabit B die cut down, or it's just straight 16 gigabit B die, and I don't remember how Micron part numbers work. I mean, crucial part numbers work. The 8 is for 8 chips. Oh, neat. So yeah, so this is 16 gigabit Micron B die. Yeah, so this could probably do like 3800, 14 TRP down. Well, I don't know how much lower, but TRC is going to be like in the mid 60s, I think, or low 60s, something like that. 4, 6, 16, like 2, 7 for WTRs. TWR at like 12. SCL's at 4, 4, maybe even 2, 2. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna grab another submission. And I've lost track of what the last one I took is. And there's somebody who really wants their submission taken because I am seeing it everywhere, so I guess we'll grab that. Please don't spam. I mean, do spam, but like don't spam that much. There's not really a good way for me to like optimize this. Oh look, B-die. You know, see, this kind of setup, if you mentioned the CPU, I would be more likely to click on it. If you mention that you have a 5800X3D, I'm less likely to click on it. Anyway, we've got 4400 Samsung B-die single rank on an APU, so it's doing 2200 FCLK synchronized, a 1.1 SoC, 1.65 on the memory sticks. You know, if you push the SoC higher, you could probably run higher FCLK, and higher memory clocks. But anyway, 16, 16, 16, 32, 48, 4, 4, 16, 4, 8, 16, 320, 4, 4, 16, 12, 8, 4, and then, I mean, yeah. 1.65 EDIM. Yep, makes sense. I mean, it's kind of generic B-die, but it's cool. Like, it's more interesting than yet another 3800 CL14 setup. Even though it's, like, the funny thing is, it runs basically the same timings as a 3800 CL14 setup, from, like TRDs to TW, well, TWR is looser. And then the SCLs are, like, kind of the same. So, I mean, there's not actually that many timings. That's kind of the funny thing is, like, yeah, you have all of these, like, dual rank and quad rank timings that just aren't relevant. Yeah, so that's a cool setup. So let's grab another one. But honestly, with this, I would, like, especially since, yeah, I would definitely try to push more FCLK on that. Like, that's, like, the main benefit. Like, it's, like, the fun part of the APUs is that you can actually run, like, 1-to-1 mode at, like, stupid speeds instead of just 3800. And that one doesn't work. That's interesting. What die even is? What is what? Eh. Grab some other one. Oh, it's more Ryzen. It's apparently trying to max this kit with 1.5 volts and a fan. Sir. I mean, but you're at like 30 at 6,000. Like, what? Why are you at 1.5 volts? And this is like a recent Corsair kit, so this should be A-Die. And like your TRP is like XMP. Your WTRS is really tight though. TRFC, your TRFC is loose for A-Die. And primaries complain if I go lower? What? You can't do CL28 at 1.5 volts? I mean, TRCD is weird. Like, there are definitely sticks out there where at 6,000, 1.5 volts, you won't be able to go below 36 TRCD. It's not super common, but it is a thing. That's just like the Hynix way, is like some kits just don't do low TRCD, and that's just kind of that. So this could easily be one of those. But TCL not going lower, that I find incredibly surprising. At 1.5 volts, I would really expect, like, this is a 6030 XMP or Expo. So like it's got to do 28 at 1.5 as far as I'm concerned. TRP I'd imagine could probably do 32, if not 30. Though your TRAS might be limiting the minimum TRP that you can run. TRD 6616, sure. You should be able to run lower TRFC. RTP at 12, yeah, that's fair enough. TRDWR 14, cool. Refresh interval 65,000. I mean, yeah, the thing with this setup is like there's not really... Like, your WTRs are as low as they go. The TRDs is like once you go below 8, that it just kind of... It becomes really annoying to even try and measure the difference between them. Like, different configurations of TRDs. So the only thing I could see is, like... And maybe it's MDI? But I kind of doubt it, because this seems like Corsair didn't start making 6000 CL30 until recently, so it's like it's kind of got to be A-Die. Or relatively recently. Yeah, don't send full links because YouTube tends to block, like, will block those. Like, I swear I saw somebody manage to get a full link through once, but generally it'll block them. So, yeah, like, there's not much more I can say about that. Anyway, let's grab another one. Daily 3800,000 on Intel on a Z790 AORS Master X. Those timings are horrendous. I'm pretty sure 7600 would be faster. Yep. Because, like, TRCD is bad, TRP is bad, TRDSG is bad, TRFC is bad, TREFI bad, TRD bad, WRWR bad, WRD bad, like, everything here, except for some reason your TWR pre is not. Like, that's actually kind of tight, but everything else is bad. So, like, yep. I mean, I don't even know if your 8000 actually works. Like, it could. Like, the Gigabyte 4-dimmers can do 8000. I say can because I've personally never done it. Not stable anyway. Now, I guess the good news is, well, it depends. If the memory controller is on edge, then having horrendous timings does help stability. But generally speaking, timings are, like, so the thing is, memory timings are internal to the memory chip. So they do not actually affect the signal quality that much. Or, like, they affect, like, the load on the memory controller, but they don't really, like, they shouldn't really affect the signal quality. Like, I'm thinking, like, maybe in some scenarios where, like, right after you activate a row, if you have, like, a really fast read, it might come out slightly lower voltage than it should or something. Actually, that still doesn't make sense because, like, the drive, like, there's, like, amplification inside the memory chip. So, it, like, but, like, sometimes you'll see things like, like, it's, like, with DDR4, it's pretty common that TRCD ends up being memory control limited instead of memory stick limited. But like theoretically, tightening the timings on this shouldn't really make the stability much worse unless the memory controller is barely able to run this. In which case, you should probably be running something slower with better timings because these timings are horrendous. Yeah. I run it daily and no errors. Cool. But it's like this probably isn't very fast though. New screenshot? Sure. Oh, also on Intel, pushing TRAS lower helps performance. Like, a decent amount. Like, a weird amount. Like, pushing TRAS, like, if I were you with this setup, I would really consider trying, like, to see if you can't, like, you could probably, like, performance-wise, I am 99% certain you can beat this at 7600. Actually, you might even be able to beat this at 7200, but that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Because yeah, like these timings, like everything except TWR is just loose, and TWR unfortunately really doesn't affect performance very much. Because like TWR is specifically only applies to pre-charge commands after a write operation, which like write operations are not generally very latency sensitive, and pre-charge commands are generally not that important either. So like TWR is like that's like, you know how I complain like how IDA doesn't care about TRRDs? Well, it's hard to find something that cares about TWR. That's how important TWR is. Anyway, we've got a 3900X with 3200. Okay, so if this is garbage RAM, which it probably is, it's some kind of Hynix. Is it? Oh, wait, you're on 64 gigs. Wait, no, these are 32. Wait, these are 16 gigabit memory chips. You should be able to run this at like 3600. Because my initial reaction was like, oh, if this is like some early 8 gigabit Hynix, then like smash the FCLK. But as it is, like, no, this is 16 gigabit Hynix. I mean, it is in dual rank, so that makes things a bit complicated, but like I'd loosen this out to like 18, 22, 22, 22, 42. And then I would try to get it up to like 3600. It might even do 37, 33 and then start tightening timings, right? So TRDs 4616, WTRs of like 412, TWR 12, SCLs to 4. Like the latency is never going to get particularly amazing because you're on a 3000 series and this is Hynix and the primaries are going to suck. But the performance, like FCLK 1600 really hurts. So like getting the FCLK up to like 1800 or 1866 is a priority. And 16 gigabit Hynix should be able to hit at least 3600 if the timings are loose enough, mainly the primaries. Anyway, Do I want to go into more detail on that? Unfortunately, no. Because, like, I don't think I... Actually, wait, I might... I mean, yeah, like, if that doesn't... Oh, and memory voltage, I'd probably bump it to 1.4. Actually, you don't need to do that, I don't think. It might, yeah. Like, the main issue with, like, the 16... With, actually, the main issue with most DDR4 is that the primaries kind of suck. And some DDR4 has suckier primaries than others. Which is why, like, for 3600, this will probably need, like, 1822. But at that, they might even do 3666 or 3733. So that would be my priority with this, is just get the frequency up. Because just raising the FCLK is going to lower your memory latency. Next submission. Oh, another 3000 series. It's weird to see so many of them today. What? Oh, we got some Crucial Ballistics 3000 rated sticks at 3600. You do realize that, like this is one thing that bugs me with, like, Ryzen memory overclockers, is, like, there are memory ratios between 3600 and 3800. There's 3666 and 3733. And 3733 performs basically the same as 3800, but unlike 3800, it also almost always works. So I would suggest looking into that. Yeah, I would loosen this to, like, 16, 19, 19, 19 and see if I can do 37, 33. Because 1866 FCLK is more important than primary timings. TRDs, I mean, I would try to go for 4616. Not sure if that'll actually work, because my experience with Micron E-Die and tightening TFAW is not great. Like, for some reason, like, yeah. TWR can go lower, SCLs to 4, and this is dual rank, so I would definitely, like, SD to 4 and SD to, instead of 7, to 6. So, like, a good start, like, you're just going from 3000 to 3600, but this is Micron, and it can go higher. Though, actually, the Crosshair 6 Hero might be a bit of a weird one, because that's a T-topology board, so that might complain. I am not sure. I never had one. Oh, and there's a super chat that I almost, like, forgot about, so we'll grab that, because it's now, yeah, like, I actually do, yeah, you know what, no more subs. Nope, 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 me, there, yeah, no more submissions. I will, oh, come on, I closed the damn tab. What? Oh, my... Yeah, no more submissions. I'll do some of the ones that are already in chat, and that'll be the end. So anyway, next one, we've got a 5800X3D. Past 12 hours of testmem 5 Extreme PCB Destroyer Absolute. Tried everything to go over 3733. It's impossible. Well, yeah, that's why I suggest 3733 as an alternative to 3800, because sometimes 3800 just doesn't work. Had to push voltage from 1.52 to 1.55 to have TRAS and TRC that low, but everything else was fine. It's mostly the TRC that would do that. But, yeah, so 14, 14, 16, 14, 22, 36, 4, 4, 16, 4, 8, 10, 2, 6, 1, 2, 2, 12, 5, 10, 1. Nice. Yeah. Oh, and you're on an X470 Gaming Pro Carbon. Yeah, like, this is good timings. I don't really have any... Oh, can't lower TRC DRD from 16. Yeah, there's just, like, some memory kits just don't do that. I mean, sometimes it's the CPU that doesn't do it, but I usually blame the memory kit for that one. Still didn't test TRC DWR 1213, but 8 is no good? Really? It's kind of surprising. But, like, the good news is that TRC DWR doesn't really matter that much for performance, so if I were you, I honestly wouldn't even bother. Like this is dual rank. You have your dual rank timing set. Everything is about like everything else is like all the important timings are tight, right? Like except TRC DRD, but you can't do anything about that one unless you want to buy more memory sticks. So yeah, if I were you, I would. I mean, you could maybe push W. Like honestly, instead of messing with like if you want to mess with something, instead of messing with TRC-DWR, I would like try push WTRS and WTRL lower, because with this much voltage, you might be able to run 3.7 instead of 4.8, or even 3.6, I think. So you know you might want to mess with that instead of like trying to push TRC-DWR as low as possible, because like the right operations aren't very important. Anyway, I'm gonna scroll up a bit because I do vaguely remember where I was. Okay. So we'll grab another one. Man, I keep copying the slash and then like pasting after the slash, which is just weird. I guess it's because I use it as a reference point. So like when I'm copying, grab it from the slash, and then when I'm pasting it in, paste after the slash, and then it's like, and then it doesn't work. Anyway, we've got two two-stick kits, same speeds of Team Group Delta 3614. Only way to have the PC stable was to copy a CL from a different kit. Otherwise, what? That is cursed. This is terrible. This is absolutely horrendous. I mean, I am not a fan of the Asus B550 boards. Or, yeah, like, I had one, but it wasn't this bad. So, like, Asus DOCP settings might be stupid. Because this is, like, 3614 is B-die. And this is a disaster. Now, the issue is, like, if I tell you to try generic B-die timings, the motherboard might be stupid and it won't work. That proc ODT is... Oh, wait, no, it's an Asus board, so that kind of makes sense. That SoC voltage is wrong. That's way too high. That might actually be rolling over at that point. I'm gonna blame the board for this one. Yeah. Like, maybe there's a BIOS that isn't complete. Like, this is, like, this shouldn't... Like, I don't know what the fix for this is, because, like, this is just, like, this shouldn't happen. But as far as what the cause is, the board's probably doing something wrong. But what exactly is it doing wrong? I don't know. Because, yeah. That, like, it's just, like the resistances don't look particularly incorrect. But that SoC voltage is weird. Like, that's way too high. And the timings, like, shouldn't affect this. So, like, I don't know what the board is doing that it's not working. I mean, like, you are running 4x8, which, you know, it's a daisy chain board, but I tried 4x8 on, like, my B550XE, which I think is the same memory topology as the Dash F. And, I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't this bad. So... Like, honestly, like, this is like, I would buy a different board. Because this is so, like, I'm not saying that's, like, an actual sensible, like, thing to do. But this is like the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, I'm not, like, this is just... Like, I would try a bunch of different BIOSes. Because maybe, like, whatever BIOS you're on right now is just broken. But yeah, like, this should not, like, this should not be like, I actually don't know what to do about this, because this is just like, well, this shouldn't happen. Like, this just shouldn't be a thing. But it's like even on Asus boards, which I don't think are particularly amazing for AM4, this is a mess. So yeah, and I don't have suggestions, because, like, I don't know what it would be it could be resistances, like maybe it needs some really wacky resistances. Maybe the SoC voltage is going too high. Maybe the DOCP profile is doing something really stupid. I don't know. And without, like, spending hours on trying to fix it, that's, like, the best I can say. And by hours on trying to fix it, like, I mean with the board. And there's a decent chance I would decide to just not use it. Go grab a different board. So I think I'll do one more and that'll be the end, because, yeah, it's almost 11 p.m. here. Let's grab this one, because it's an Intel system, and for whatever reason, these streams are, like, mostly AMD, which gets a bit boring. Oh, and the link doesn't work. Yep, that one just doesn't work. Okay, well, I guess we'll grab a different one, because it is the end, and I want to go. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. So, Z790 Nova at 7600. Tempted 7800, and yeah. Yeah, and when it errors out after 4 hours, the realization of, like, but if I try to fix this, it's gonna, like, each iteration is gonna take 4 hours or longer. Right? It's like, oh, I change one setting, and then it takes 4 hours or longer to find out if that was actually the problem. And that's assuming that the memory controller isn't just playing games with you, where it randomly comes in and out of stability every time you reboot. So 7600 seems like that, like, yeah, like if daily system, I would totally just stop at 7600. Like, I know, like, I get this question from people when doing the, like, RAM overclocking, right? Live streams from people about, like, why do you just insist on trying to do DDR5 8000? And it's like, well, I mean, my daily system runs at 6000. I have a very different standard for a motherboard, like my own daily system, than for, like, motherboards I'm testing, because when I'm testing a board, I'm trying to verify manufacturer claims. And also, when you get sent a DDR5 8000 memory kit, it's kind of awkward when you make a video about it at 7600. You know? That's why. It's not because I would actually, like, build a system with DDR5 8000, because especially after all this time with DDR5 8000, I think it's dumb, and I would just not do that. But content. But anyway, so yeah, 7600, 3440, 640, 640, 640, 2T, 10, 4, 500. This is A-Die. This should be, like, this shouldn't have to be 10. High refresh interval, TWR, RTP, 16, 8, 30, 16, 8, 20, 20, 16, 8, 62, 48. Yeah, all looks good. Your TWR pre is 151. I know your TWR over here says 55 because your TWR PDEN is 90, but TWR PDEN applies specifically to write to power down enable, which from a performance perspective is utterly irrelevant, and it infuriates me that memtweakit like scales TWR based on TWR PDEN instead of TWR pre, because this one is the one that actually controls the delay between a write operation and a pre-charge command, which is, you know, the thing we actually care about from a performance perspective. So I would try to drop that. Well, I'm not like, okay, this is an experiment that you could try, is like drop this to 90 and then like see if it makes anything faster, because I kind of suspect it won't. I don't think it'll make, like, you like run whatever you're like, run some benchmarks, see if it really makes much of a difference. It probably won't. So you could actually just leave this alone. Like if this was my daily system, I would actually probably just leave this alone at this point, because everything else looks good, and it's just like TWR pre and PD. Also, the stream just dropped for no apparent reason. Anyway, that'll be it, I think, because like evidently even like the network has decided that it should be the end of the stream. And I've got, I mean, kind of good news. My DDR5 8000 setup is at 4 hours and hasn't spat out any errors. That doesn't mean anything because I went to bed earlier, like, actually, yeah, I went to bed today, and it was at no errors in 4 hours, and then I woke up and there was I woke up and there was 3 errors. So yeah. So no errors in 4 hours is like, the thing is, I forgot to set the fan speed on the memory fan. So I'm hoping that what happened is while I was asleep, it just like got a bit too warm and errored out. So now the fan is faster. What? No, earlier the stream was running great and then it just suddenly like disconnected. Like I think before that disconnection, my dropped frame count was at like 1 or 2%, which is like really good for my streams, because usually it's higher than that, and I don't know why. And then it just kind of died. So yeah. Yeah, in OBS, like this stream from like my end looked better. Like I'm pretty sure that I would like early into the stream, I kind of checked the drop frame count and it was like 1%ish, which is way lower than what I usually get. Usually it hovers like, I'm happy if it hovers around 3%. So the fact that it was at like 1 was like great. And then it just died. And now it's at 10. So Intel 225. I do actually have a motherboard with an Intel 225. So it could be that. I've not tried to do it. Like I don't have dual, like I don't have another NIC. So like I haven't like tried to investigate if switching like network cards would fix. Like I'd have to buy a network card. You on fiber? Yes, but it's not symmetrical. So what, did the stream just die again? Because on my end, it still says it's fine. CRC errors. Wait, what are those? How? I know absolutely nothing about networking. In the router. Cool. Okay, I'll check that. But anyway, that'll be it because the stream is literally breaking up at this point. So yeah. That's it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for all the super chats. And goodbye.